Welcome back to my channel. Now I just want to talk to you a little bit about roof windows, something that we all have to fit if we're doing traditional roof construction, even trusses. And quite often you'll have a drawing which will show you where everything goes, and that's one way of going about it. But quite often if you're working for private clients don't really visualize drawings that well, or at least what it's going to be. So it's always best to get them up into the space, say this is where the window's meant to be, this is how high it's meant to be, how would you like it? And providing you're not breaching any regulations, you have the flexibility to adjust the positions to suit the client. So in my case, my client clearly wanted to be able to see out of the window. So some windows are positioned higher, some are lower, but they just clearly wanted to see out the window and be able to operate the handle. So what we ended up with was coming up with a way of marking the positions of them. So we've got three of one type of window on this job. They're all the same size. The rafter spacings are pretty similar everywhere. So what I like to do is I don't go around marking every single window up. We agree the position of the window. In this case, it's going to be between these two lines here. So the actual roof window will be here. So eye level is roughly in the center and the handle's at the top here. Now, I like my reveals to be flat and to be upright, so level and plumb. So that means you get the most light coming in, instead of having them at 90 degrees, which is also fine, and splaying off your plasterboards. I like them to be plumb at the bottom and level at the top. You get the maximum amount of light coming through. What that means is that you have to set your structural trimmers further back to allow that to happen. So I've plumbed down my window aperture where the window is going to land. I've got a little bit of play in that as well because of the courses of tiles. If my roof tiler comes up and puts a batten there, we want to make sure the window works with that. What we don't want is a cut tile underneath the window. It doesn't look very nice. So I've added, say, 75 millimeters there of play, so my window can be positioned anywhere up or down in that spot to suit the roof tiling. Then what I've done is I've plumbed down and I've put the position where my doubles need to be. So we have a pair of trimmers through the bottom, we have a pair of trimmers through the top, and then we double up these rafters on the outside. So that's a pretty standard form of construction. So how we do that is I mark it on one rafter and then I take off some key measurements, and I made a foot. So I've got a foot here. I'll just pop that back in, and what that represents is the rafter that will be trimmed. This is the trimmed rafter that will go in the middle here. And that is exactly the same as, here we go, we just offer that in there. So there's my pencil mark. That's exactly where it needs to be. Now, that'll be the same everywhere. So I just go and cut a series of these, and I do exactly the same for the top. So I've got my top rafter measured down to the trimmer position where it says 1850 there. So let's go and put one in. Let's go and start on this one over here so I can show you how straightforward it is. So the first job, I drop in the template onto the wall plate, the bird's mouth over the wall plate here. I just let that go in here, and then I keep the tops flat and flush, and I'll score a pencil line here, and I'll just mark that. That's the first of the trimmers. I'll do that the same on the other side. Here, make sure it's in position, and I'm happy with it, and I mark that there. And then it's a matter of fixing the bottom, the first of the trimmers in the bottom. Now, I know that the trimmer is going to catch one of these center rafters, so if I just drop a trimmer in here and mark it, let's just drop that in here. And I'll mark that up here. That's going to be my rafter, so I can whip that out. I can reposition it in here. I'll fix this in through the ends now. Let's get my hammer, my nail gun. Let's put it this way up, get the cuff on the back. Here we go. So that enables me to get my foot in. So I'll take my foot now and I can offer that in, and I know it's going to be a direct fit. There's no way it can be wrong. Now, if you tried to mark this up, measure it, mark that side, measure this side, mark that side, there's so many places that you could get a mismeasurement or whatever. By using this template, offering it on the sides, marking the shoulders, putting it in, I know it's a perfect fit. So I should get the bottom of that fixed first. I always like to fix over the wall plate first. So I'll get that tapped up. Onto my line. And we'll get that fixed. And now we fix the top. And it's also it's holding itself. It's a lovely, nice fit there. Let's just give that a little tap up like this. Onto the shoulder lines there. And it's just a matter of boom. The other beauty of that is that now I've got direct fixings in the end, before I put my second rafter on, which forms the double for the trimmed joist. And I've got another timber here, which is my next timber. We drop that in as well. That's a beautiful fit. We'll just tap that home there. So now I'll get the top done. It's exactly the same as the bottom. I have a top rafter here, which I took from those marks that I did on that rafter over there. And it's just a matter of me hopping up here, marking it either side, fixing through one of my trimmers here, and then dropping it in. So we'll get that done. Let me just hop up here somewhere comfortable. Let's put that in here. And we fix the trimmer across, but what I'm going to do is quickly transfer my marks onto here as well. Saves me doing it twice. Going to give myself a helping hand because I don't want one end to fall out whilst I'm holding the other. So I'm going to pop up the scaffold and get that one fixed in.
bang that in. So we'll put our top rafter in, just like the bottom. It's really easily because we know it's going to fit because we set everything out to it. So we'll just drop that in and get that fixed. And it's a super fit as well because you just know it's going to fit. There's no marking up, there's no measuring, it's a very straightforward job. And I can get through the end here, which is really nice. Nice fixing on the ridge. A nice fixing into my lattice here as well. So I've got the whole of the rafter fixed. Now it's a matter of me just adding the next one in. I can do that from down there, and then we'll put the double rafters in, and that's one structural opening complete. And then we have the job of squaring them up and then battening them to keep them square, and it's done. Bang this one in. Oh, that's a good fit. That's what we want. And I say that's a good fit because I didn't cut them. So I'm acknowledging someone else's work, not my own. I'm not blowing my own trumpet. That's what you want though. And then we'll end fix that one as well. We'll see where that is. Now, I'll wrap my doubles in. Let's get those in. Here's one. They're a little bit on the long side. I have to go right out into the road. Pop the ridge right up in the air. And then we'll slide it in. Get the other side before I fix the top, save me going up twice. Perfect. That's it, fix him up. So we kept the diagonals and we make sure it's nice and square and true. And it always amazes me how we just do everything off the measure and then we check it and it's virtually bang on to the millimetre because we're not kind of like measuring the shoulders from both sides or from the top then the bottom. So I've got 1888 millimetres there. And let's have a little look at this side. And we've got 1888 millimetres there, so it's bang on. So I know now I can put a nice brace underneath from this corner of the opening to that corner of the opening. Then I know everything's nice and true. And that's how I like to put my V-luxes together because I've got through fixings there. I've got through fixings here. If you put in two together, you can't get a nail all the way through. You've got to then skew nail your trimmed rafter here
into them. If you've already got a double on here, same thing, you've got to try and skew nail these, and if you nail them skew, pulls off the line, bang them back, they become a bit loose. This is just a nicer way of doing it. So I'm going to cut myself a bit of batten. I'll just measure what it needs to be roughly to go underneath. 2.3, and I'll get a bit of batten underneath there, fix that on, and then I can move on to the next ones. And get another little screw over by the gable, then it's actually holding it from moving as well. So we're killing birds. We're not killing birds, we're killing two birds with one stone. We mustn't say we're killing birds, because someone will be, animal activists will be over and they'll be doing me over. So we mustn't do that. So there we have it, braced, installed, parallel. Now we can carry on filling this roof in.